Good morning. I got the knives out of tempering. We got a nice straw color, but this is all still covered in scale, so it needs to be wire brushed. So let's go out and wire brush it. Just gonna wire wheel this off real quick, and then we'll finish grinding it. Alright, so it is all wire brushed. We'll go back into the grinding room, back into the shop, and oh, you're out of focus. And we'll put some bevels on that and clean up the grind a little bit. It's really cold. I can't wait for summer. Alright, let's go. Look at that. That's from our faucet drip. Oh. Alright, we're back in the shop. I'm gonna clean up the grind, put bevels on it, or not put bevels on it. It's already beveled from the forge. I'm going to clean up those bevels, and I might bring the heel up, 1/8 of an inch. Just the handle's killing me. So we'll do that, then we'll look at hand sanding. Let's do it! So we've got the bevels nice and cleaned up. The blade edge is straight. It's fairly well in line. I would have liked to have done more forging, but that'll work. Next I'm just going to clean up the tang a little bit more, and then we'll move into you know what, since this is a bare bones knife, I'm not going to do any hand sanding, which normally I hand sand every knife. Then we'll put the handle on, sharpen it, and call it a day. Alright, I'm going to stop the timer momentarily. Alright, we're at an hour an hour and 13 minutes. I'm going to pause because since I can't access what was behind the camera for all that, my belts are now all over the floor, and I'm just going to clean those up and clean up my workstation really quickly, and then we'll get back to grinding. We'll get back to making this knife. Alright, be with you in a minute. Alright, and we're back. So I'm going to put scales on this. What I have here is some desert ironwood. This is actually a scrap piece. I bought it and it came with this huge crack in it, so my normal sized knives would never work with this, but we might be able to make that fit just like that. We'll see. We're gonna do the work, and if it turns out that this is junk, well then we'll just scrap it and start off with the new piece of wood. 1 hour, 13 minutes, 30 seconds. I really need a disc sander. The belt sander does not actually leave things flat. At least not scales like wood and all that. It doesn't leave it flat enough to that there won't be any gaps or anything like that. That's pretty good though. Oh man. So there's going to be a little bit of a gap, which really bums me out. Well, maybe not. That might actually go away. We'll find out. That's why I really need a disc sander, but oh yeah, that's bad. Well, it's a bare bones knife. It's gonna be ugly. When I make knives normally, this doesn't happen because I spend lots and lots of time making sure that everything is super flat and super straight, and yeah, so we'll just get it done. Alright, let's go over to the drill. I'm going to go over to the drill press. I'll just drill these out. I'll be back in a second. I'm going to keep the clock running. And I'm back. Got that drilled out. Let's do the other side. Alright, back to the drill press. Alright, hopefully not all of the footage was destroyed. I think my battery just tried to destroy the camera because it got really hot and turned off. So where we're at right now, my screen is flickering. This is bad. This is lovely. Okay, knife is almost done. It just needs to be sharpened. Or the blade. I just drilled and then outlined the scales. Now we're going over to a little saw to cut them out. Now I gotta shape the front, and then we'll actually glue it up. Should have done that the easier way. Oh well. Oh, everything. Alright. Look at that. Remember I said that there was a little bow in them? You can see it. You can see it right there. There's a little bow, and that causes a gap, which is going to cause a gap on the knife. This is why when I make knives, I take hours and hours and hours to do each step to make sure that every little thing fits up perfect. If you've got someone making knives just trying to do them as fast as they can, and you just slap all this stuff together, then you're going to end up with gaps and tear outs, and it's going to be an ugly knife, and it's not going to perform as well. So I'll probably not sell this knife. I'll probably hang on to it for myself, or just throw it out. No, I won't throw it out. But yeah, this is not getting sold unless someone really wants an ugly knife. Alright, but onto the grinder, gonna shape this up. Well, it looks like I didn't record any of that, I don't think. That's awful. Okay. I took this, rounded it over, smoothed out the sides. They're not perfect, but it's as fast as you can knife. Alright, so let's pull this guy apart and glue it up. I'm gonna go wash this in the sink. I hear that acetone leaves a residue, so I'm gonna try this one, washing it with some soap and water first. I'll be right back. Now this is long setting epoxy, which will hold stronger, but obviously it takes longer to set. So once I'm done gluing this up, I'm gonna have to pause and come back in a couple hours. So that's all I'm going to do to it. I'm going to let this glue up for a couple of hours. I'm going to stop the clock in just a second, and I'll come back to you guys in a few hours once this is all set up, and we'll grind it down. Now, okay, it's several hours later. The glue is pretty well set up. It's not totally cured, but it's enough for what I'm doing. So I'm going to drive these pins out, and then we'll sand the handle down to whatever its actual finish will be, and then we'll reinsert the pins and peen them over, give it a final sanding, and we should be done. All right, let's go. Well, that's frustrating. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I'm going back. I'm taking the time to actually flatten this tang. I realized the tang was not flat. I'm not timing this. I'm just going to fix it and pretend that I did it right the first time. There's no point in A, pretending like I didn't ever make a mistake and editing it out and all that. And there's no point in B, in just trying to like do the speed run with an inferior knife. Like, yeah, a speed run knife is going to be uglier and have poorer fit and finish than something that I spent a whole lot of time on, but there's no point in that. That's not showing anything. And I'm not racing myself here. It's not like, oh, look at how good I am. I can make a knife in 4 hours or whatever. That's dumb. The point here is to find out how long, for me, it takes to make a knife. So, it's still going to be bare bones relative to what I normally would do, but I'm going to fix this. The process is exactly the same. It should take roughly the same amount of time as before. So, I'm going to get this tang flat. I'm going to re-glue the scales. I've added a couple little dimples in the underside of the scales to give more grip to the epoxy, but I am going to peen these on, so the epoxy is not all that's holding it on. But having that bow in there doesn't make any sense. So I'm gonna get back with you guys when the scale is back on and we're back to the point of peening over those rivets. Alright. Okay. Making things flat and straight without the proper tools sucks. I need to get a big disc sander. That will help a lot. I normally don't have that much of an issue because I either forge my tangs closer to shape, or if I'm just doing stock removal, then my bars of steel already come out flat. That was not fun. It's gluing up. I'm going to give it the full, what is this, 24 hour? Yeah, I'm going to give it a full 24 hours to settle, or at least close. Tomorrow morning we'll pick this back up. But just that in of itself shows, you can't, it's hard to make these things in a day. Yeah, you could use, 5-minute epoxy and take off a lot of the time, but it doesn't work as well. And so, So I'll be back. I'll see you tomorrow morning, and we'll turn this thing into an actual working knife. I think I'm going to redo this video probably in a couple of months, where I do speedrun with better tools. Hopefully. Alright, well, see you tomorrow.